Well, hello there, my friends, and welcome back to another part of our Confederate campaign. Now, if you guys take a look over here, we've got a lot of empty brigades. Quite frankly, we're doing our absolute best to have the most men we can, but it's not always easy. Now, Cedar Mountain is an interesting battle here. It seems that the Federals are not planning to attack soon. However, their presence at the peninsula is a real threat for our capital. We need to deploy a bold strategy to strike the enemy's supply line around Manassas. Now, this is an interesting one where we have to advance to the north around the right of the Union Army and cut off the Orange and Alexandria Railroad. I'm trying to look for a more defensive battle, and I'm thinking our latest reports speak about a massive Federal supply depot at Manassas Junction guarded only by a small garrison. Lead General Trimble's brigade, his regiments have taken positions in the woods and are ready to commence the assault before daybreak. More reinforcements are on the way to support you if needed. Well, both of these look like pretty tough ones, but I think Cedar Mountain is going to be the one we're jumping money, and more importantly, we need to put ourselves in such a position that we can go ahead and get some more men in our army. Right now, we've used up every single one of our reinforcements. The Yankees have been alerted by our presence and have sent a force to halt our advance. So once again, we're on the attack. Being on the defense, as you guys could imagine, is much easier. They've occupied a ridge, and we have no choice but to attack and repulse. And once again, we're in a position where there's a pretty well-defended ridge over here, and we need to attack and try and destroy the enemy position. So I'm going to do my best here, guys, at Cedar Mountain. It's going to be a tough battle. We've got some nice artillery batteries, and I'm thinking that's going to be one thing that can sort of help us in this battle. So, first things first, I'm of course going to move forward, and as you can see, I'm using the woods for cover. I definitely want to advance under cover of the woods, and more specifically, I'm going to take these artillery pieces and try to place them kind of back here, just in such a position that, such a way, I should say, that they can still fire, but that they're not going to be in any direct danger from the Federals up here on the hill. And quite frankly, that is a nice position. It's the one I would take if I was defending this area. Hopefully, we can swing through and crush these Union soldiers. Okay, we got Alabac in front, Grider. A lot of these guys have already been wounded. I mean, this has been one hell of a campaign. A lot of our major generals have been killed. Well, actually, I think we've only lost about 3 brigadier generals, which is pretty damn bad. A ton of colonels, of course, and many have, of course, been wounded, Kemper included, and Jubilee Early, one of my favorites, also being wounded. But he will be coming back. And Jubilee Early is actually known as the Mean Old Man. It's one of his nicknames. He's definitely the kind of guy that you don't want to face in battle. And actually, him and General Armistead got into a bit of a disagreement over at West Point, but that's a story for a different day. Right now, we're focusing on trying to take this elevated position. I'm hoping that these woods are going to provide sufficient cover for guys like Alabac, guys like Colquitt, and of course guys like Dilger. Dilger looks like he's going straight into the fray, so I want to be careful with him. I'm going to try to put him over here in the woods. And as for Bennett and the rest of these artillery pieces, we're already taking some serious hits. I'm going to be careful and try to keep them sort of behind the lines. All the way over here. I still haven't spotted a single Federal. I know they're firing at us, and look at that. Carroll, Tower, a few others have already begun shooting. I'm going to see if we can start engaging them already from here, and I'm actually going to bring Dilger over here to watch this area. So let's move forward. Probably not a bad idea to detach some skirmishers over here from Colquitt's force to repulse some of the skirmishers on the Federal side. But no matter what we do, we are going to need to be careful here as we approach these lines. So Alabac and Cutshaw should be able to do some pretty serious damage to the enemy here. But no matter how we approach this area, we are really going to have to soften them up. So I'm thinking that probably one of our best things we could do in this battle is to just basically shoot anything and everything we see with our artillery before moving in with our men. So we're really trying to use that Napoleonic strategy of softening up your enemy with some artillery, and I'm hoping that it's going to work. So here we go. Colquitt's going to get his first shot off at Tower. We can also get Colquitt skirmishers to do the same, and I definitely want Bennett to start firing here at Tower. Alabac could also get a shot, but I don't want to risk him getting into a crossfire situation. It looks like Carroll is going to go ahead and try to charge. It's time for Jack Dalton to come over here and support these men. Make sure that the enemy doesn't succeed in a charge against our force. So here we go, Dilger. Get a shot off, son. Being led by a major general here, they should be able to do some pretty severe damage, especially with the help of Dalton, of Jack here. And I'm actually going to move Alabac forward. I said I wouldn't, but I'm going to move him forward just to start tackling some of these forces. Now, this area looks pretty poorly defended. So I'm going to grab 3 brigades, or 2 brigades in this case, and I'm going to start firing or try to fire at Green's men. Oh, no, 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 never mind. We got Geary here. He's going to be definitely a challenge. So if we're going to shoot at anybody, it's going to be Geary. Tried to take him off the hill, but we already got some skirmishers over here on our right flank that could do some serious damage. The enemy is definitely prepared, put it that way. So here we go. The major problem is, of course, occurring over here when Carroll's trying to cross the river, and we actually got some really great shots on him. Doesn't look like he's going to be back for at least a little while. I want to get Colquitt skirmishers to keep firing over here on Towers Brigade, and in fact, if we can break that right flank of the enemy, we might be able to break through entirely with guys like Alabac and help of a few other Confederate generals. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to keep hitting Geary. I'm going to make sure that these cannons are aware of this general situation because he's out in the open. So I think this is a perfect time to start shooting. I'm also going to detach some skirmishers from Kemper here to deal with these skirmishers off to our right flank as Kemper focuses on Geary here in the center. Yeah, we could definitely use some more men. I won't lie to you guys. We're not in a position where we can avoid getting hit, and at this point, our best chance is going to be to really pulverize their right flank and move in that way. I hope Colquitt is still firing. You better be firing, Colquitt skirmishers. Don't think y'all can just relax now. Crawford's in a really nice wooded position, so I'm not even going to try to mess with him. But over here with Kemper and the rest of these guys, I'm definitely going to keep... I'm going to remain aware, put it that way. So we need to capture that ridge. Of course, the cannons are still firing, and I hope they're still firing at Colquitt specifically, or excuse me, Geary specifically. They are about to go ahead and let loose with some shell shot. Come on, son. Averill, what's wrong with you? You can fire. There you go, son. And actually, that's probably a round shot. That is not shell shot, although it's putting some holes in the enemy lines, and that's what matters. Okay, over here, Towers holding on pretty damn well. I must give it to him. And I'd love to bring Alabac in here to shoot, but he's really mostly focused on Crawford. Don't forget, since we are the Confederacy, we have less men than the Union. It's just a fact of life. It's a fact of the war. And so while they can have 3,000 men in their brigades, well, we can have about 2,000 max. And that number is dwindling slowly but surely. So here we go. Unfortunately, Kemper has been forced to pull back. Grider is still firing at McCreary, and we are still trying to just bombard this area with artillery. But those shots coming from the woods, I mean, they're pretty devastating. And if we don't start figuring out what the hell to do soon, we are going to be losing this campaign pretty quickly. We've gotten this far, but I don't know how much farther we can get without some serious assistance here. Come on, boys. Full volley right there on tower. I could actually try to charge that position, but it's going to be pretty risky. All right, let's go for it. Come on, boys. Colquitt. Even the skirmishers are going in for the charge. I'll send Jack Dalton over here to assist. And we are definitely taking the bait, but this is bait that I think might work. And of course, the enemy can sort of start getting prepared here for that attack. But I'm hoping that if we can crush Towers' forces here, we're going to be across the river, and the enemy is going to have a much tougher time trying to repulse us. Of course, if we could get just a few more brigades, 2 or 3 more brigades, I think we would be in a much better position. Jack, get your ass over here. We need you. Now, they are managing to definitely crush this group. He's routing already. I want to make sure that they have our support, that they know they have our support, and we're going to go ahead and turn our attention to Gordon. So here we go. Dillinger, I need you to start firing, son. Same with Colquitt skirmishers. Looks like Towers taken off. But this is definitely a time to keep fighting. The melee fight is still continuing. It's not stopping anytime soon. And at this point, all we can really do is try and weaken Geary over here. I'm going to move Kemper back to the front. Somebody mentioned that we need our veterans. The problem is those veterans cost money. And we run out of money pretty damn quickly when we are trying to get veterans. So we're going to do our best, of course, but don't expect that to happen spur of the moment or anything like that. That's going to be a process that takes a while, and hopefully a process that we can accomplish without losing too many men. Come on, hit Gordon. Come on, boys. Get a nice shot off. There we go. Gordon's actually taking some vicious hits there by our men. I'd love to get Alabac to start firing at him, but it just doesn't look like that's in the cards. Not to mention that a lot of these other guys, Geary, Green, they seem to be in a pretty good position, all things considered. Come on, Grider. There we go, getting some beautiful shots on Geary. Can eventually break that brigade, but it's going to take a little while. It's good to see, though, that our boys over here are really putting up a good fight. Unfortunately, Alabac, he can't handle the pressure, and he is pulling back. I'm going to try to have Bennett fire here at Gordon, which is really the only Union, well, Hard Stuff and Gordon are the only Union brigades that can hold this right flank. Once we break through here, I think we're going to have a much better chance at breaking through. Now, that being said, I really wish, really wish that we had some reinforcements in this battle, because the enemy just has the uphill advantage. They've got more men than we do, and this could turn out to be a pretty ugly fight, to put it simply, for our men. Just not having that uphill advantage is a tremendous disadvantage. I'm going to take Alabac over here on their flank and try to move around that way. Probably should do the same with Cutshaw, but I'm getting such nice shots on Crawford here, Crawford's flank, that I don't think that we want to do that. In fact, I'm going to start firing at Crawford over here, and the same with Averill. Let's focus our fire over there on the enemy's left flank. Come on, Cutshaw. Reload, son. Looks like our skirmishers are losing hope here. Actually, no, that's an infantry brigade. That's Dilger. Ooh! Devastating shell shot. Kemper, of course, moving back once again. And like I said, this was 9 out of 12 brigades. If we just had those extra 3, we'd be pushing on the left flank with total speed and efficiency. But right now, we are forced to really contend with these guys on open ground, essentially. Now, Gordon's taking some serious hits, but I don't think it's enough to repulse him by any means. Grider, you know what, son? You fall back. We're going to have Grider fall back. We're going to have Kemper's skirmishers also fall back. And I'm going to bring Kemper over here to the back, to the enemy's flank, I should say, and just keep up the attack. Thinking that's right now our best option, is just to bombard this area with everything we've got. Only reason I'm keeping Cutshaw here is because he's getting some flanking shots on the enemy. Otherwise, I'd pull him out as well. Come on, boys. Don't give up now. Let's get those supplies over here. Let's get Grider over here as well. We're bringing everybody to the enemy's left flank. I was under the impression we were going to receive some reinforcements for this battle, but it looks like that's not going to happen. And this is definitely the perfect time to get those supplies over to our men, because they're already running out of ammo. Let's hope the supplies don't run out before we get there. I'm sure that our artillerists are going to need quite a lot of rounds here to shake the enemy. Alright, I got Kemper and Grider on the way with their men. Nice, Gordon's on the run. Unfortunately, a lot of our boys are missing ammo here. I'm going to try to fire here at Hartshall. Or Hartson, I can't see that damn name. Come on, get that damn, look at that. Look how quickly our damn ammunition ran out. At this point, it's going to be a little more difficult to force the enemy away, especially with a lack of ammunition. We may need to go for just an all-out charge, but I don't think we're in a position to do that. All right, sending Gordon reeling. Charge. Once we're low on ammo like this, I think it's the only thing left to do. Is it the greatest idea? Probably not. But I really do feel that at this point, we have few options left. So we're going to send Dilger in for the charge. I'm, of course, going to send Dalton in to assist. Try and give our boys some morale, some boost in morale. And, of course, now we're charging right into the woods with our men. We've got a few more men on the way here, Grider and Kemper, and I'm going to try to set them up as quickly as possible. Now, Jack Dalton is going to take some nasty hits, and it looks like we definitely caused some havoc here in their lines, but that damn canister shot is going to send us falling right back. It looks like they're sending in Crawford for the charge, and they're even sending in Prince to hit our boys over here. So I'm going to try to focus on Prince over here. I'm going to try to focus on Prince with Grider as well, and really make sure that these guys know that crossing the river is not the greatest idea in the world. We learned that the hard way, of course, and even Jack Dalton over here is in some danger. There we go. Alabac on the run, taking heavy hits. I want to hit them before they get back across the river. Nice. Keep on shooting. Keep on hitting Prince. And Alabac is just getting vaporized. Really no other way to put that. Alright, now that Prince is running, I'm going to try to hit Crawford. Getting the Union across the river is generally a good idea. It really forces them to get out of cover and forces them to take some serious hits. But it's not going to be enough with this lack of manpower. I just don't think so anyway. Keep it up, boys. Keep it up. Make sure that the rest of our artillery is firing where we want them to, and that's going to be directly on Gordon. We can definitely soften up some of our 12-pounders, but you know, with this amount of men, it's going to be really hard to force them back. Come on, Cool Quit. What would be an awesome mechanic is maybe a mechanic where, sort of like repairing a ship in FTL or something like that, a mechanic where basically your men can pick up ammo around them, but it takes some time, and in that time they don't shoot at all, but then they get maybe a slight refill on ammo. Just something that I was considering. I don't know if it would actually work. Damn it, don't be blocked, son. Get Dilger in a position where he's not blocked. Get him over here, even if he's got to get out in the open, for God's sake. Kemper, fire on Gordon. All right, we got Grider, we got Kemper. And here we go. Dilger should get a good shot on Gordon. I'm not going to let him run. I'm going to make sure he does not come back. All right, if we could get a nice shot on McDowell, that would be amazing. Everyone open fire on that damn unit. Make sure that the artillery now is focusing on Crawford. And it looks like the enemy's also running out of ammo, so it's a little bit of a blessing in disguise. We're running out of ammo, but so are they. Make sure that Dilger focuses on Bayard and all of his cavalry. And my goodness, if we just had a few more seconds to push the advantage here, I feel like we could win the battle, despite our lack of manpower. But we got to break through Carroll. We got to break through Hartsurf. Or Hartsuf. There we go. Crawford and the rest of these guys. And that's not easy by any means. Alright, we got Cutshaw and Alabac. I'm going to bring them forward again. But Alabac in particular is pretty much out of the fight. I don't see him coming back at all. There we go. Interesting, interesting. Keep it up, boys. Damn it, boys. Keep it up, for God's sake. This is a glorious victory if you can get it. I'm going to try to hit McDowell, actually. I'd love to wipe out their general. And it would probably make their jobs a lot harder. But it looks like he's going to get out of the way. Oh. Do we get a shot? Well, we certainly got a shot, but not a kill shot. So we want to keep it up. Keep up the pressure. Keep hitting Hartsuf. And damn it, boys, we got to move faster than this. Give us a few more seconds. For goodness sakes. Sure to hit that skirmisher unit. There's definitely a lot of dead Federals on the battlefield. It's not like our boys haven't tried to take it, but just have a lack of time, I think. Just a total lack of time here to make a difference. And of course, we could do a crazy charge. That's definitely an idea, but probably not one that's going to work very well. Also, let me get Colquitt skirmishers to fire over here on Bayard. Gordon is over there to the north. He's probably going to be coming back pretty soon, but temporarily, we can at least do some shots here, some damage to the enemy cavalry units without getting flanked. Damn it, Dilger. I didn't tell you to turn, but I guess you're going to anyway. There we go. Bayard taking a nice, nasty little volley. 50 of his men dropping right on the spot. But Hartsuf is also moving back, guys. Hartsuf is also moving back. Keep on moving. Come on, boys. Come on, let's move. Get across that damn river, boys. And this may be a perfect advantage, perfect time for a nice charge. Carroll's taking some serious hits. Well, let's commit. Go for it, boys. Glorious Confederate charge across the damn river. We are going with everything we've got. I'm going to put Dalton right there in the middle of this because I think this is our last chance. I really do. You can finish or continue the fight. Oh, you sons of bitches. Well, I'm going to continue, hoping that I can take that ridge, put it that way. I don't know if I can, but I'm going to try. And I'm not even sure if it counts if I take the ridge after the fact. In other words, if I take that ridge after the battle is over. I'm hoping it does, because right now the enemy's routing. That charge worked to at least get us a bit closer to the enemy. And right now what we have to worry about is Gordon to the north, who's actually going to do a lot of damage if we don't watch out here. Try to move Alla back in there. Ooh, Dilger taking a nasty hit. Really nasty. And we're taking shots over here from all the rest of these guys. Yeah, I think we're going to have to finish that battle. That's going to be our first defeat at Cedar Mountain. Things are getting tough now. But, you know, what can you do? In this case, pretty even infantry losses. Dilger was promoted, but what difference does it make? Let's go ahead and see what we've got to work with now. Probably nothing good. We did get 3,000 men as a battle reward, but all things considered, doesn't make much of a damn difference. I am going to go ahead and fill this up with some veterans. Going to do the same with a few other troops, but quite frankly, things are getting very tough for our army right now. So there we go, some more veteran units. We've got the money for the veterans. We simply don't have the manpower, and manpower counts for a lot. So let's go ahead. We're going to grab some men for Kemper, grab some men for Colquitt, but there we go. That's when we start running out of units, and unfortunately, that's going to be just about the end of that particular situation. I wish that we had reputation which we could spend on actual men, but it's simply not the case. And one thing I will do is spend some on our supply. But overall, this is getting tougher and tougher, and I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, we're getting to the very end of our actual career here. It's very possible. We had some great victories over here, but draw and defeat in the last two battles might not serve us very well, let's be honest, guys. Anyway, I want you guys to put your thoughts down below, and thank you so much for watching. Take care, and have an awesome, awesome day.